Hey guys, this is Steve with Empire Academy. Today we're going to talk about how do you determine the rental price of a property and how do you explain that to an owner. So understand, sometimes you have to remember that owners do not know what a rental property will rent for. A lot of times they're going off of assumptions. They are assuming what it will rent for based on maybe what they saw a year ago, 2 years ago, what a neighbor said it could rent for. They don't understand the dynamics, meaning square footage, bedrooms, bathrooms, garage, area, time of year, cycle of the market. There's a lot of variables. So when you're talking to an owner and they want to know what the rental price is, this is a great way, first of all, if you haven't gone to the property, to get to the property for a face-to-face meeting. By telling the owner, you know what, the best way I can tell you that is by getting to the property. I can take a look at it, and by doing that, I can tell you things that maybe we can fix. We, make sure you say we, things that we can fix on the property to get the rental price up, and things that maybe you don't need to do that may be a waste of your money. Because we do this all the time, we know what it takes to rent a property for the most amount of money in the least amount of time. So I would explain to the owner, Mr. Owner, there's a lot of variables that go into renting your property. There's the age of the property, there's the square footage, there's the bedrooms, bathrooms, garage, school districts, there is the appreciation in the neighborhood, the time of year, because wintertime is a lot less in demand than summertime, so because of that, prices affect that. And there's also market cycles. So some owner may say, well, I rented it 2 years ago at $2,100, but the market now is $1,900. I would explain to the owner that while we can rent it and ask for whatever you want, there is a price in demand. And if you overprice the property, all that's going to do is make the property sit. And if the property sits for more than 1 month, you could have lost up to 1 year's cash flow on the property. So having it overpriced is the problem is in search engine optimization, when somebody does a certain amount of square footage for a certain amount of price, Mr. Owner, your property will never even show up in the search engine. So yes, while you may feel your house is nicer than everyone else's, the challenge is the parameters that the search engines use will make it so that your property never shows up because it doesn't fit what the other properties are going for. It'll be considered an outlier and it will never show up in the search engine. So again, this is why it's important to take all these factors in, and the price is the price. We cannot dictate what the market is doing. Whatever the market is doing at the current time, that is the price. My recommendation, if you have an owner that wants to get a lot more than what the property will rent for, is I would explain to them, listen, sometimes a bad deal is better than no deal. Meaning sometimes it's better just to take a price that maybe is not exactly what you want, get the property rented, get a tenant in there, and that does two things, what people don't understand. Number one is it stops any potential vandalism on the property because vacant properties are ripe for vandalism. That's number one. Number two, what it will do is it basically allows you peace of mind. So there is a mental stress that goes with a vacant property. And while you may not think of it now, having a property that's vacant for 6 or 7 months that you're paying the mortgage for is not worth the mental headache, as opposed to just maybe taking $100 less per month and being done with it. Next year, when the property is ready to be relet, maybe we try to make it so that the lease expires in June, not in December, so that it is during the high time, so that if the tenant is going to leave, we can get a higher dollar amount. And again, it's just one of those things you want to make sure that when you're talking to the owner, you put it in financial numbers and make sure that you talk to them more in logical terms of price, square footage, bedrooms, bathrooms, school district, time of year. There's certain statistics and say these are the parameters that dictate the price. We don't dictate the price. We can put it for whatever you want, but we're really not doing you justice if we're not using our expertise to get you the right amount in the least amount of time. So this is Steve with Empire Academy. I hope this helps. Bye-bye.